Firearms, fires, explosions, and explosives. As we live in a country with strict gun regulation, firearm crime rates are particularly low in comparison to other countries' tries with much more lax laws, such as the US. The most notable type of gun most used in crimes would be the pistol-type revolver, due to its pocketable size and ability to fire multiple shots with ease. Rifles may also be used, as they are much more powerful and accurate. Forensic internal ballistics is the study of projectiles. One key identifying trait of a fired casing may be marks from the barrel as it exits, which in turn can be compared and tracked down to specific manufacturers and potential owners. External ballistics is the study of projectiles once they have exited the barrel and before impact. Discarded casings usually have branding which can help identify where the culprit bought them from and generally where he resides, although it is common for seasoned offenders to tamper with branding such as filling them down or modifying their firearms illegally. And terminal ballistics is the study of the projectile. After it has impacted a target, they may also carry fingerprints from the culprit which can be collected accordingly. For example, examining an entry wound, forensic scientists are able to determine the type of firearm used, the distance and height at which it was fired from, the trajectory the bullet traveled, and even so far as identifying trace evidence from the projectile to help identify a culprit. When a firearm is discharged, trace evidence such as gun propellant and powder can be found on the culprit, which can help to properly charge them with an offense. When investigating a fire, it must be secured and protected much like a crime scene as to avoid destruction of evidence. The beginning of the investigation is establishing where the fire started. Forensics first look at the external structure, checking for signs of forced entry, signs of tools used to gain entry such as a ladder, and weather conditions at the time as these impact the fire's actions. Internal investigating concerns potential bodies or objects and begins in the least damaged areas of the building. Once the forensics have located the point of origin, they may decide it was natural or foul play. One prevalent indicator of arson is the presence of multiple artifacts or potential substances located at the scene. Explosives may be used to start fires and terrorist activity. Forensics can determine the use of such devices based on the findings of their forensic examination of the scene. Dealing with human remains, helping to identify potential human remains is the responsibility of primarily forensic anthropologists and archaeologists. Forensic archaeologists specialize more in the burial site rather than the remains itself, and using their training, they are able to locate specific geographical burial sites, the location of the victim's belongings, and even in the excavation process of recovering remains to determine the age of the remains. Whereas anthropologists are more concerned with the human skeletons, or remains which may be otherwise unrecognizable for various reasons, mummification, burn victims, etc. Anthropologists are able to perform facial reconstructions through a variety of means thanks to technological advancements in the field of forensics and specialist casting training, which helps in identifying the deceased. Pathologists are also required to preserve the remains for a post-mortem examination to determine the cause of death and locate abnormalities in the physiology, which could point towards foul play at hand. In order to delay the degradation process, if there remains, plenty of precautions must be made. Managing the temperature of the body, the cleanliness of the surgery room, the humidity of the environment are all major deciding factors to the quality of preservation. It is crucial. Remains are preserved accordingly as even slight decomposition can impact the findings of the forensic pathologist. Another field of forensics which are commonly associated with the analysis of remains would be forensic entomologists. Entomologists focus on the study of insects present inside of or at the site of remains. Entomologists are able to determine the time of death, origin of insects to locate an original death site, and the rate of decomposition. The relevance of statistical analysis, forensic reporting, and testimony. Statistical analysis in the forensic field can be a key aspect of locating specific offenders, particularly re-offenders, and bringing them to justice. For example, the Flint database records the facts of all cases and is able to highlight crime hotspots on a map, and also go as far as predict certain crimes in areas and identify criminal behavior to culprits with high accuracy. Forensics work closely alongside the police in investigations and will be knowledgeable about evidence gathered for the case. The forensic report is set out as notes to condense the information but still provide the vital details of the findings from forensic scientists. Expert witnesses typically present the forensic report as well as other factual evidence along with their own summary. However, in some cases the forensic scientist may appear to testify in the court, albeit rare.